Hello, this is Gerald Overwas. Lately, I was thinking of how I should or could imagine actually the most simple uh, change of the letter combination of craft into a form. When I follow the rules that I have set up here, the rules that are built up from the way how we recognize things into a balanced out geometrical method in space and time. When I follow these rules, the rules that are there, I come to a quite simple form actually. And I thought, okay, this is a nice example to just show you how that builds up into what actually looks like a craft that flies in the air. But of course, craft isn't just the machine, but still, just like with the video of train, the same thing can be looked at just as a product of this movement that it is describing into something else that can be used just as a focus upon that what we need to make this continuation of movement actually and this kind of movement or definition actually that we have then as a formula is the same thing that we can associate with a thing in the air as with the craft in general. And that makes it interesting, of course, that I take out this word again, although I have already described it before. And the image that I had, like the C to R to A to F to T, is what is followed up by the airplane. And I will tell you how I come to this form. Of course, that's where the airplane comes in as a form that fits to what is going on here, what is being described with the letters. My theory says that everything that you describe in the letter gets you to realize very quickly a fitting form, a fitting direction, and also a fitting definition of a whole set of movements that you need to have to describe actually the object that we are describing with these letters as a word. What do I have first? When I look into the theory, now I'll go and see where I have positions. These positions, thanks to because they have positions, are related with a building up of a numerically. They have also a geometry. You have positions that are balancing themselves out here in the first 9 letters into space. And you can really build up the numbers there as well. The first dimension, the second dimension, the third dimension. Also with helping tools of horizontal, vertical, diagonal, 1, 2, 3 points. It's a rule that builds up in a logic actually very easily. Also with the 3 regions, the starting region, the volume region, and the edges or the borders was also one of these 1, 2, 3 rules that are actually triggering the automated processes so that we can realize where the things are, how they behave, and so on. The C is at the borders, and it is also into the 3 dimensions. So I have the 3-dimensional borders. I have also 3 points, and the 3 points will guide me so that I have at least, I have a certain direction now, like in which direction shall I go to from the borders. Okay, here, this is useful for me. I can go on with that. I can continue with that. So that's that visualization at the borders of 2 points and 1 point that really directs myself forward. And that's that edge there that in the 3 dimensions say, okay, I have these 2 points and I go towards 1 point that I can start from, as if it's the tail of the airplane, and then it goes to 1 point that is the middle of the airplane where it connects to, and this connection is emphasized by the letter R. R is about making a connection to a motoric realization of what can continue, what is can be used also as a definition and as a practical combination of movements, where it can be connected to. I can see where it can start from and where I can connect to it further. And this connection is then, of course, I go from the seat, from the tail, towards the point where the airplane starts, and then there is the motoric continuation of what I want to have, a motoric continuation actually. With the letter A, it will even continue further to or continue actually where I'm engaging actually my motoric thing. And A in general, I'll first explain it, because normally I say, okay, I continue there. The A is a starting point of a physical object. So I also have my physical object, and I have a connection point which I connect to somewhere at a starting point. So it doesn't matter where you have the starting point, but I have a middle point also of focus. And that's it doesn't matter where I start from, is actually the engagement towards a middle point, as the letter A is also the perspective. So depending on your vision where you start from, you can engage yourself to a point that you say, okay, from here I can see it very well, where I can engage it towards a continuation. So here I am in the A, I go quite far away, and I also continue. I continue with my airplane. It's still the middle point, so I have a middle point, and I continue into the form of the airplane, further into that motoric thing that I started. So I have my focus towards a point, a center point of A that has an engagement already from the motoric thing there of the R that is going to perform my movements that I need to perform my idea of craft, and where I will have also a possibility to repeat myself, or to also say that I can follow it up in time and space. Wherever it is, it still remains this definition, vision towards that plane or craft. The F will say in which direction this goes. It's not just the forward thing or the continuation thing or the keeping it steady thing. No, the F will actually more say like, okay, which direction I can go. It can go in all directions. The F is like that. It's in the second category. It's about directions, any directions. But it will also say, okay, I have an orientation somewhere that's the kind of rule that I have here. The orientation that despite all directions that I can have, I choose one of these directions so that I can proceed. And I keep my power actually also effective, that I can continue. I can enhance myself. It is related not with the forward move, but more with the up direction, like it is an engagement into a highlight of directions that I say, okay, I can keep not just my continuation, but I can keep myself up with all the material that I have here. I can keep it up also of all the directions. So all the contradictions, doesn't matter in which direction, I choose one of them and say, okay, here I'm able to keep my focus onto the whole thing of the material. And for the plane, it's of course keeping it up as well. The vertical is important for the F. Vertical in that way is like I have all kind of direction, but I keep it steady, that I can do something with it, and I can continue with it. The letter T at the end is not just to keep after the F, not to keeping up, but keep it also at its place with a certain placement. I place it somewhere and I can follow it up from place to place then at that point. Now, this is the airplane, of course, that it is associated with the F just because of the vertical. I could say, okay, it is also all this movement and this whole form is needed to keep this motoric engagement up in the air. So that's in fact what that aircraft is also associated with the word air plus craft. But what with craft alone? The C in the craft is that kind of control from outside. I say, okay, I have something with which I can have a control, like in the tail, I can have a control, that I have a control over the continuation of the keeping up, to keep it connected. I keep connected it and I keep control. That's with the C and the R to it, with the A into a continuation. And I keep it running actually that way as well. I keep it up, but I keep it running in this case as well as just a craft. Is I keep it actually into my highlighting process as well with the F, that I can proceed somewhere at a certain place. That's where I will produce my craft. And in that way, you can understand the airplane is not needed to express the craft. It's a very good example. It's combined from air plus craft. It keeps itself up into this continuation and this force, actually, which will have a continuation in its way, how it can produce highlights, or can produce that it can keep up with its whole mindset, so that I have this motoric function available and can keep it running as well. Just as the airplane will keep it running up in the air, the craft itself should be able to continue as well. Even without the air, it doesn't need the air, but it's the same principle. I hope you understood this and it was explained well enough. The same as I had with train before, also here the craft can be explained also without needing that idea of the plane in this case. Thanks again for watching. Bye.